Johnson come from?
Sign-up sheet is on the table because you're taking your.
Did they email
You're taking your known skill and nobody can allow two other people. Where the pressure comes out, say it's on the screen.
So what does that come out each? $1.20. You're making me think here. Once we got liquid intelligence right here.
That's an hour 30, then that's 130 divided by 13, so that's 10.
10 minutes each, and we'll cut it down for.
But that doesn't work because we don't work in a decimal time.
Yeah, that's true.
But for tonight, we can work on decimal time.
Okay.
Okay. If there's anybody out at the bar, we're beginning. My name is Nick Trankner.
Hi, Nick.
Hi. There is a little reverb on this to add to the drama. This is a poetry reading. It's an open mic. Eventually, we wanted to have a couple featured readers, so you're all featured readers tonight. We have a sign-up sheet. As you walk through the brick archway, it's to your left. We have 13 readers right now. So if you get on, you're going to get right when the getting's good, because you'll get at 14 and you'll break the curse. I'd like to thank Steve Goldberg and Andy and Linda.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
Yay!
Nice, thanks.
Yes. Steve and I were talking about poetry, and then I was talking to Andy about a poetry reading, and he was saying how these happened at the early onset of the Literary Cafe here when he took over. So I said, why not? And said, let's do it. Let's do it in November. And then we picked November 3rd. And that's my first poem.
Oh. Alright.
I put myself down as first on the list because nobody else would.
I would,
The first poem I'm going to read is called Again. This was written probably 3 weeks ago. And it starts out with a quote from T.S. Eliot. There's no more use trying. I'm not turning a reverb off on this thing.
Turn a reverb off.
There's no more use trying to be traditional than it is trying to be original. Back then they were concerned about trying to be traditional, I guess. The name of the poem is Again. Again, the thing a sprig of leaves imparts lives deeply in the humility of muttered voices that avoid portentousness sterility, ensues as wretched product as supple smoke of cigarettes from careful guided policies of artful business etiquettes. Smudged gray eyes on hard-grown boys, silk robes of an authority are lightly dropped around their necks and proudly worn invisibly. Somehow we are doomed to walk a path laid not so absently by accidental place settings of the dead's discovery. And dealing with the scratch of ink, we fast adopt his powdered feet in Missouri pilgrim leather laced virgins on sawdust neon streets. And as we mutter carefully, some difficult, some easily, we intersect again this trail. In crevices we breathe fresh air and ask ourselves yet once again, what was that you said? Dig it.
Would you, man?
That's right.
What a cat.
To keep up with the sing-song rhythmic metered shit, I'm going to read some sonnets.
People still write those.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Oh.
Yeah, they do. Oh, so you want to hear a sonnet about goth kids in the chamber in Lakewood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are they naked?
No.
Yeah, well.
It's called Mope Sonnet. Be natural. In this forest of black torsos, the hands joined together behind, playfully swinging the feet forth and back. Sometimes maypole, sometimes hanged man, you find stone deep beating, original artist mind, obsessed starlight synthesis corruption of delicate children, they too unwind, under black canopy stillborn function, expressed as cigarette poison suction, electronic clip purring subwoofer, slide dancing rabbits, squirrels in motion, elegant bears dressed as Lucifer, space boot astro girl, neck stud contortions, the dead fat hand of desire, loved lost proportions. This is my favorite of the sonnets. There's two of them that I wrote. I wrote this in Kent in 2002. Walking from my house down to Susan's, I think, to get a cup of coffee, and saw a crushed can on the side.
Coffee, we got coffee here.
We do got coffee, and we got espresso. The Beatnix by the coffee will help you out with that.
Is it free?
No.
Yeah. You give me some green, man.
He's free, but the coffee is.
That's right.
The revolution costs money.
Gas, grass, or ass? No, not.
Oh my fucking god.
Crushed can sonnet. The bees awake. In dream they buzz in hives of rope by rivers down in thorny weeds. In dreams I use my face, observe the lives of poison insect madness at top speeds. Aluminum reflection intercedes from on the pavement flattened to a plane. A patch, a silver blotch of blue proceeds nearby the newborn grass in clumps. The pain of light, long rolled by tires, pelted by rain, melts into shrub bud vicious springtime fray. It's trash against the green mist air, the strain of poetry against the world's bouquet of combinations formed by gods and man together, amplified by light and can.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then one more sonnet, and then I'll read a fun poem. Those are all fun poems. I'll read a poem that has the word fuck in it.
Yeah.
I think. And if it doesn't, I'll add the word fuck to it.
Nice.
This is called Streetlight Sonnet. It was also written in Kent. The dappled shine of streaking light is splayed, pebbled, forking colors. A crossing post pulls orange, red, and blue from signs displayed. Dry, lights fly by, spreading, blurring into ghost. But here the water fills this street scene most with lights. It brings on blade-like sharpened beam. Brief streaks across the intersection, coast for chasing then by further lights that gleam behind red taillight streaks. Rapid, they seem to stretch into distances, vanishings, horizon lines defined by stars, a dream of neon, plastic streetlight flourishings, reflected out across the rainy night, oh artifice of artificial light. All right, now the crazy shit that I haven't read in a while. No. The pink perfect circle. This has no title. The pink perfect circle blue smiles bright polyester, ether green, pant knee, orange light finger presence. The street lamp turns on and her face is almost pressed against the window. There is no music playing except the fragile percussion against the glass gloved fingers spreading fine hairs into lightened pads. She wants one. Stiff ankles, careful, drifting eyeballs in gray water, twist in as much before you find absolute starlight in an afternoon where no sun gives you time, no sun points at you, nothing at anything. Peace, like a dead peace. Peace of frostbite. Peace of dry air. Peace of slow murmurs. There are clear markings before the plow. An evil heart can make you howl. There is no certain picture of the sun. I guess that's that poem. Oh, fuck! Thank you. That's true. And one more. And then next we have Steve Smith.
And Kathy, are you? Together?
I'll end this on a light note. Not really. Rivers out eastward, signs reminiscent of statuary, igloos of emotional defense mechanisms heaped on empty shores of frozen fog, two lines roughly straight and parallel, change differently than each other, but not like geometry. Like two competing viruses unleashed upon a quiet land of frightened families and children. Yay, all right. Go Steve Smith.
Thank you. Dear occupants, accidents, and occidentals. Just yesterday, it was yesterday. Now it's already today. Confuse not mercy with weakness. Confuse weakness not with an upset liver. And confuse not an upset liver with love. It is the shape of the silence which defines the sound. Like winter rubbing against summer, each defines the other. Only certain curtains can be drawn. The rest must be endured. The souring sermons, the centered self-serving, the lion den Christians in Colosseum stands, twixt ape and angel wandering, torn between the knowledge and the need. Do I worship the moon or the sun, or yet the blooded one? I bloat and smell, decay in age. The focus runs. Lamentation 5, the faithful bewail. As I went walking, and I were talking, I was watching. So shake your booty, Buddha boy, can't you spare a paradigm? For me wanna marijuana. And me wanna do the dog, bow the wow to shady lady, leap and lap her fire log. Oh, let me be your poodle boy. All aboard the Cardboard Express, fresh in, fresh sin, and absolution. You can keep your hallelujahs. Let me have my Loch Ness Jesus. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Ah yes, it's all tits and toothpaste. The test tease totality in textbook time. But I am not bothered by grace. Why watch the dead rework the living, embalm our worst in overtime? Famous faces in golden places never look to me to see Zen fleshlessness to be. Hi, Gene. Servant, sorrow's sire, brags big broth in briny bowls. But aftermath of meat belief is math to meat retreat. So, I and I still walking, though I and I not talking, but I on I am watching. So do your duty, Buddha buddy. Cue this captive paradigm. Bye-bye. That's B-Y-E-B-U-Y. The man keeps knocking down my front door. Wants to sell me some sort of social spore. Says grits and groceries ain't enough. In the modern life, you need much more stuff. Made me want to crow and flap my thing, chase the whole outside wedding ring. So I cut my hair, deferred my face, gave the man a chance to show a better place, where the air was clear, the water free, the fair folk there accepting me. But when they pursed my lips to kiss an ugly place, the man above unzipped below, I said, sorry, sir, I gotta go. Get out of my face. You can keep your fares, your free-fatted frows. The lure of your lair is lacking in now. I'll take the stairs quicker somehow. Cleaner, too, thanks to know you. You can unstab my back, 'cause you'll need your knife. Wrap back to the pack that leads your life. Hit the road, Jack. Be ass and back, or tap, tap, taps, boodle bell. I bye-byes black burden. I lay down your load. You ain't no apt for this gone cat. As for his, your do your do. You can go to hell. Be your own fondue. Drink dropping lake. Eat rising grape. Work rolling rock returning. Dirt burning.
Yeah.
I have 4 poems here that I wrote in the last 4 weeks about falling in love with that lady right there. First one says no, the second one says maybe, the last 2 are yes. Dada Graybeard. A lady poet followed me home and asked if I could keep her. I replied it must be denied, for I had no room in my freezer. She engineered her stay with a let's try this again.
It's okay.
A lady poet followed me home and asked if I could keep her. I replied it must be denied, for I had no room in my freezer. She engineered her stay of relocation with play, charm, and elocution. Praised this and that, allowed a wee pat, counted on evolution. I may be cheap and easy too, but for a female I'm hardwired. And two, it's sort of cool for once being the one that's desired. Though I questioned her taste, her need of rat's waist, a too hasty fade will shatter shades I cannot replace. Best to see what she reweaves, what treasure in her trundle. Though it fracture my plan, I am but man, and man is meant to bundle.
Nice.
Plant shepherd. I water 3 plants at work. Just now went to each, thrust my fingers through their leaves into their soil to check for moistness. And flashed on this morning, you on your stomach, my fingers deep, sampling your wetness. None of these need water, though I may need to sample you more to see your need. So I made an appointment for you to be closely examined tomorrow after work in my sanctuary, in the church of not quite so much pain and suffering.
Yeah. Come on, Smith.
Bone. They call me Bone, in secret name, no one knows his secret. Covered heart alone carries weight, weights. Meat is meat, if no magic. Magic, no weight. Uncovered heart atones recent track. Mary's meat and bone. Thank you.
The next reader is R.A. Washington, or Ra Washington.
You told me you don't read. Liar.
Fuck you, man.
Hey, that's
I just wanted to tell you guys about these new poems. I really like Steve Smith, and I've been mimicking him for some while. I'm short. Sure. This is called In Search of Our Father's Gardens. The baby's face floats the street. Water splashes to his knees and some cannot swim. If he was made in a lust fashion, suspended far between the knees of Mister's daughter, pride and she clasping for the ride home. He told her it was his world and she named it love even as her eyes should close. A day would come and love would be gone. He was night and could never face the sun. After, hands were not enough even at night. Junior took to his father's search in diaper rage when mama left him with auntie daddy's sister who kept her new man company too. And she said, it was a struggle to feed you. I can only say it as those words, no uncertain term. A day will come and you choose this world for yours and take what precious time you had looking. Rocks into the hands of the houses, crumbling as soon as the light. Do you see the pattern searching do? As a mirror of mama's youth terror, just before daddy had you. He had run the whole way, carrying his father's hands in a small black bag, slung across shoulder like a drunk and heavy friend. His hand a steady disaster, and eyes of violence reek underneath the news of death. Her face a shard of others, and they hold your birth between legs. A guilt builds, the hip moves, and he becomes a fist. I can remember when it was gone, the sweet first nut running down her old and vain legs. It was not for me, it was for youth, and she the seeker of it, a sucker of young lives, and sex was the reason. It would be weeks before I got over the sensation, the smell of sweet underlegs, the shape of her nipples, her mouth on mine, the eager tongue, dust, pushing, demanding more than I had, and still she held me against her, rocking me out. But Kate loved to visit, stayed on 39th and paying my first place, 2 small rooms and a large one with a stove and sink. One of the small rooms was a bathroom. It took 4 checks to get it to look like it was, to look right through the thrift store. A green couch, a small stool, a table held a line in the big room. A friend lent me an air mattress. Still, she came to visit. I never knew when she'd come. It always seemed to fall on the exact time I'd be looking for her, meeting her. The hows and winds will not help you with this story. After about 4 visits, I wanted to be with her full time. I walked the downtown looking for her, went up 9th, then crossed St. Clair and 18th, keeping a fine map of the possible places. It was about sundown in August when I made it home. I listened to messages, popped a beer, sat on the porch dozing and sipping a honey brown. I didn't recognize the car when she pulled up. Her shapely legs stretched out the passenger door. An older brother rolled down the window to kiss her, his red caddy clean in fine condition for a 1976 DeVille. And she walked toward the apartment door. I couldn't help but stare at the driver. Her eyes locked, and I knew I'd seen my father, my face, for the first time. Stories, why do you ask? I remember Cracker's head for a fix. The Jimmy I knew around 105th by the one-ways always had a lady, some finer than magazines. He could talk to her fast, low, letting the little things. He did get him over, 'cause bitches ain't used to that kind of shit, man. You know, opening doors, lighting a lady's cigarette. You know that gentleman shit you see in Bond flicks, that hip and cool, get your ass shit. He would run on as I do now. I guess the stories are made to go that way. Only way they make sense. He had a habit, nothing major, just a 20 piece every few days. It was more for less back then. A little weed, some cognac, some pussy was how we played it. We were men, free of that get a job shit, stupid shit, and the looking back. But we talking about the beginning, not the end, not the truth, but the illusion. That what beginnings are. That's what beginnings are. But nobody knows that. Beginnings with all this truth, no hope. A little lie when convenient. Is that how you play it? I dabbled. First just a little blow, then the horsey, then the crack. I'm an addict. I try all that shit. No experiment, no search for enlightenment of the higher sight. Some beat up fantasy of white niggas who hate niggas. I've read more. I've read them. Most of the junkies that spew the crap they wrote never read it. Small motherfuckers on a magazine cover in a bar. Junk in the fixer is the kill to the black. Junk is the fixer to the kill to the black. Yeah, it kills any motherfucker who wants to tango, but it kills blacks. So one day I had to have it. Not just a little here or there, but got to have it. Got to have twice what Jimmy need. And he's selling it to me, watching me die. And I do not question his love when that's all the man thinks he can see. I thought the same, you know, hindsight. Well, that's the only time you see it, because we on the subject of beginnings. What is the sickest thing about addiction? The physical pain? The paranoia? Taking friends and lovers? The loss of trust? It just melds, wraps itself all up and takes you apart, one after the other, till you cannot discern what is the enemy of the day. Sick needs medicine. Medicine is junk. Blow, crack, no reefers, and drink. The hard stuff, the genocide stuff. We ignore the boys. Time moved and we were theirs. They kept us in strong supply. But the way they did their thing was twice as brutal. They sold to kids, mamas, everyone's, and never blinked. Felt no remorse. It was dollars for them. We lost them. The block. For weeks, it had been hot. Niggas getting pinched the whole nine. This morning, it was quiet, like a cloud. Had parked its heavenly ass above us and would not let any sun. I was out early, no business, just a few non-paying fiends, no new blood, no money. It's funny how these old niggas be trying to lecture us. As soon as the motherfucker gets out the joint, they talking about the community and shit. It be the same niggas that got us started in the game. Some niggas deadbeat daddy, trying to fix all his sins. Church, prayer, then the nigga goes through a few hard months and realize no jobs for the ex-cons, so he back doing dirt, taking us down, trying to get a little piece of what we got. Shit's hard, don't get me wrong, but those old niggas be dipping in they supply, fucking up the bread, getting off by their son or nephew, the boys they used to ignore, the boys that chased them, searched these streets for them, only to find home. It's a null white space. He's talking to a God-trapped labyrinth, clutching himself. A man's own enemy. You, in with no mirror. You, as mirror, wishing for yourself, a snapshot held image, launched the madness of his simple dreams, and it dances in his hands, away, always away. Come and punish yourself on the devil dirty streets, on the sidewalks of change he crawls, tell you of men greater when they remember coins for cups and they never make noise. You always the noisy one, dying loud in the backyard, no crowd. The bottle empty, spinning fate in shot glasses. I've seen my father laying on grates, a needle in the vein bruise, no room to know. The bitter pill of skin, your story out the mouth of strangers, each telling truths, even as the story is not mine. Some man with his hands lost, with his hands tied to history, lost in his declaration, spilling ink. Thanks.